Hello everyone, Martin here, back with another Legacy video, playing Doomsday. Playing the I would say quote unquote regular Turbo Doomir list that I've been on for a while now, but with some interesting tweaks, I think. Um, First of all, I'm recording this on the week after the latest Showcase Challenge. At least I think so, depending on when you watch this. That may or may not mean anything to you. But one of the Doomsday Bros, Wally, um, had a really great performance and finished, I think, top 16. And was playing this card, which really piqued my interest, no pun intended. This is basically Gitaxian Probe, like, but fixed. Um, or rather, I guess Gitaxian Probe was peak but broken. Um, but this plays at instant speed, where Gitaxian Probe is a sorcery, obviously. And I've been aware of this card and just never really considered it. But Wally has been like really raving about how much this has improved his matchup against Force of Will decks, especially like against Delver, and in combination with Fatal Push against Delver, 3 copies. Wally has been getting really great results. So I think that's really interesting, and I do like from a conceptual point of view, kind of really like what Peak gives us, like at the end of turn, replacing itself and letting us see what we have to play around on the turn we want to combo. So I put this list together. It's not exactly what Wally was playing, but I've incorporated Peak. I've cut a personal tutor down to 2, which I honestly feel like is fine. And I'm also playing a Preordain. Cut my Night's Whisper, um, and then I have added a 4th discard spell in the shape of Duress. Oops. So Grief, 2 Thoughtseize, and Duress. I've cut a Street Wraith down, so I'm down to 4 Cyclers. That's kind of what the moving pieces have been. And oh yeah, also, compared to the last Doomsday video I recorded, I have gone back up to 2 Lotus Petal. After some good counsel with some good Doomsday people, I think the 1 Lotus Petal experiment proved to not be where, like, not quite what I wanted it to be. I don't think considered all the aspects. So, and I've just been on a tear. Since I put this list together, I 4-1'd and 5-0'd, and before that, I also trophied with the list but minus the peaks. So I'm like on really on fire. Like 14-1 in my last 15 matches. So let's go watch me like 1-4 this league, huh? So I'm due some losses. But yeah, I wanted to fit the 3 fatal pushes in to try out Wally's anti-Delver plan, and just like it's I played copies of this card in Doomsday before in the sideboard, and I can definitely see why we would want it. I've shaved a single Force of Negation, partly just because I thought that was or I guess primarily because I thought that was the most cuttable card of what was left. Also, I just feel like, I mean, this is nice. It's nice for combo mirrors. It's good against stompy decks. Good to mediocre. Like, I have like lost games with Force of Negation rotting in my hand, and my opponent sitting with like a Magus of the Moon in play, or what have we. So um, it does have its limitation in the stompy landscape, I think. All right, enough about that. Let's go play some Magic. All right, round number 1 on the play. Sweet. Yeah, I mean, never getting in a million years getting away from this hand. So let's let's go nuts. Huh? I think I'm gonna Dark Ritual Duress. I don't think there's a turn 1 creature play my opponent can make that would like, I guess Magus of the Moon would be it, but I don't think there are that many Magi of the Moon in game ones. All right, let's if for some reason they have double force. Ooh, okay, hang on. This deck represents some problems for us because, or potentially anyways, because of Mesmeric Orb. But, alright, let's see. What can you do here? They play City of Traders, and then they play, like, Grim Monolith, and then they play Basalt Monolith, and then they play Mesmeric Orb, and then I win. Um, what would they need? If they were to top deck, like, a Manifold Key, maybe that lets them play. I guess they probably play LED with being an Echo deck. So I mean, if they top deck LED, that's unfortunate. I think the take here though is the Grim Monolith. I don't mind if they play Mesmeric Orb. We'll untap and mill one card, and then we can build a pile that beats that. So I'm taking the Grim Monolith. Excuse me. All right. Let's Doomsday, and I don't expect this deck to come up with like a chalice or anything. And even if they did, I don't think they can. If they drew it, they could make it on two. So I think we're safe to just put in Thassa, double Edge, double Street Wraith, and I suppose like it'd be kind of gross if they, seeing as they're a Nurse's Saga deck, if they like randomly spiked the Pithing Needle if they have one, and named either Street Wraith or Edge of Autumn, but I'm not going to play around that eventuality. That seems very, very unlikely. So yeah, just don't draw LED. I mean, if they draw LED, it's not like Echo kills us outright because we have 8 cards. So we're not going to deck, but that obviously changes things. Yeah, and they're playing the Mesmeric Orb. That's the play they have, and it could mess us up here, but it won't. Oops. There we go. Let's tap these 2 lands. There we go. All right, so sideboarded games. I think they're Echo Beyond means they have graveyard, you know, synergy. So immediately, I think Daunty Voidwalker is a potential card here. I think probably the Forces of Negation come in. Not sure about Sholdred. Like, they are likely to be. I mean, obviously against Echo, it's she's really great. So maybe that's enough of a reason. But other than that, I don't think they are drawing cards. They are an Ancient Tomb deck, though. Maybe let's see here. So I have 7 potential cards. What would I then cut? I think I'm okay cutting 1 Thassa and 1 Cycler. And if we bring in Shouldered, I don't mind cutting the Personal Tutors. I also don't think this is the matchup where Peak has much of a role to play. And maybe this isn't really either like a discard matchup. Maybe I even want like a Personal Tutor more than I want the 3rd discard spell. Yeah, let's try this. I've been trying to condition myself to not board out Personal Tutor as much as I have had a tendency to do, because I think honestly I overboard that one out. It just feels like a weak card, but like in matchups like these where you're not playing against counter magic, I think you maybe should be keeping it more than I do. All right, this is an excellent hand. Has a turn 2 Doomsday and has Force of Will / of Negation. Okay, I'm not gonna fight over their LED. This is not a fight over LED kind of matchup. I wouldn't think so. So I really don't want to see Defense Grid here. What is this? Grim Monolith. Okay, so they have all the mana in the world. Is this Karn maybe? Nope, we'll take key. Okay, 1 card left, which I hope that lines up poorly against my 2 force effects. Mystic Forge. Yeah, I mean this is something we need to force here. So let's go ahead and do that. I think I actually force it pitching Consider, even though not having Consider means we don't have the win the same turn from like low resources option, but I kind of value like drawing a force of blue card here, which I do. Gonna play this out. I don't envision it at all becoming relevant, but I suppose there is a world where Echo of Eons resolves, and I'd rather have this in play. I untap here. I would definitely prefer not to have to fight over something scary here, and okay, they pass. Alright, cool. I mean, I say that as though the game is over. I think it probably is, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself here. We do need to pass the turn. And we also only have 3 cyclers left because I boarded out one. So probably I just feel I'm okay. I don't think they have removal, so I'm probably okay. Just not playing around removal, especially seeing as we have this force of will. All right, I'm gonna put Cavern as the bottom card in the pile, just on the off chance that they do something that I have to force and then slam a Charles on 2 or something crazy. All right, Cavern on the bottom, the Thassa and then the Cyclers, and let's pass. All right, looks like they are just passing here. What could could they have something that messes this up? I don't think so. It looks like they've F6'd. I'm asking myself this because it does feel somewhat safe. Actually, hang on. I don't need to risk anything. I have this ponder. Yeah, let's ponder. How about I shuffle my library? Ha ha ha. And there we go. Empty library. Clean as you like. What I was saying is it felt somewhat free to wait another turn because of the force and they're not doing anything. But all right, cool. Off to a winning start. Let's see if we can keep it up. On the play for round number 2. Yeah, this is a little bit of a weirdo one, but I'm gonna keep this. It's like turn 1 duress into turn 2 doomsday, with only Cavern of Souls as a potential blue mana for the Oracle. So we will need to potentially do a little dance to make this work for us, depending on what we're up against. But being on the play, I like this. Being on the draw, I probably, or at least, I probably mulligan or at least very much consider it because this hand collapses to like a discard spell, I think, or at the very least then becomes very top deck dependent. All right, let's put in this duress and see what we're up against. Holy smokes, more of this stuff? Yeah. So I think the take here is the LED. I think that's sort of what gets this, like, puts fear in my heart. If they draw Echo, like the Voltaic key is also like at least a consideration. It lets them ramp on mana with the Basalt Monolith. We don't have any. We don't have any. What you call them? Any counter spells, so the defense grid can stay. But yeah, no, I'm gonna take the LED and pass. This is awkward though because we don't have like Brainstorm or Blue Mana. We are actually looking at having to pass a couple of times. Okay, and they drew a Manifold key, so that's not too scary. This doesn't do anything to land, no. Oh, that was lucky. That was actually really good. So I am just gonna fetch a remove and save the Cavern of Souls. So let's take Thassa and some Cyclers, just like last game. We only have to pass once now because we drew that land. Yeah, I think this works. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. Let's mix these up in case. It doesn't matter. I was gonna say, like, in case they have like a randomly have like Grindstone if they have a painter plan. All right. Good news is we can more or less sideboard the way we just did. I think They drew Petal, and they played Second Ancient Tomb, so we know their hand. So they're keeping up Otawara, so good thing we empty our library here. Strictly speaking, we should keep the island in play and represent Days. It doesn't matter because we know what the opponent has, but like I think from a sort of technical play perspective, I think it's correct. So we'll play this name Merfolk and sack it and draw the Thassa. All right, sweet. All right, well, I think the sideboarding plan is going to be what we just did. So bring in the Dothies and the Shieldreds and the Fawns. I do think like Dothy is probably the weakest of these cards, but probably it's okay. Let's lose the peaks and the grief, I think is what I did. And then I think I took out the preordain. I wonder if maybe it should be Days on the draw versus that big mana deck. Yeah. All right, I'll keep this. I think it's like the first opening hand we've had without Doomsday. Opponent keeps 7. I'm gonna keep. Yeah, I hope this Fawn is gonna be good enough. Crystal Vein. Sure, not gonna do anything about a manifold key. Maybe I Thoughtseize here over Preordain. I'll make me like inform me about what to do with the rest of my hand here. Okay, so I mean, what we don't want to have resolve is the Karn. Crystal Vein is like makes you sacrifice tap 2. They could go like Sea of Traders Karn and then we daze it. Like them having double Mesmeric Orb in play is a little bit scary because first of all it means that resolving Doomsday and passing becomes somewhat tricky, but nothing too crazy though. Okay, I'm gonna take the orb in the hopes of getting some days value here. Okay, they don't go for the. I think I'm gonna daze this then. Honestly, that means no Mesmeric Orb, and we can still force of negation the Karn. I'm gonna preordain though. I'd rather pitch preordain. Actually, no, I'm not gonna preordain. I'm gonna keep hold of this because I want to cast Brainstorm next turn and at least exchange one of these lands for a card, and in case I don't get a blue card with preordain. Okay, there's Grim Monolith. Sure. Just don't play defense grid, please. Okay. Okay, so there's Karn. Karn gets Fond. And they have 1 card left. That's, yeah, I mean, at least there was the Dothy. So the question is, actually, I do think I hold on to 1 Dark Ritual, and I Dark Ritual out this Dothy. It's a little bit annoying, but I do think, like, it'll matter to be, like, a turn here could well end up mattering. And if they drop, like, Urza Saga here, then I think this will have backfired on me, because then we're not racing. I think that's, like, one fault of any creature plan, almost. Or one downside is that Urza Saga, especially out of artifact-centric decks, just races almost anything. Like, I could have resolved Shouldered there, and if they go Urza Saga, especially if then they go Urza Saga into Urza Saga, then that's, like, really tough. Oh, another Karn. Okay, that's interesting. So what do you do here? Obviously can't go for... they can't go for Lattice because then Dothy just kills the Karn. In fact, they can't really minus Karn unless it's for like an Ensnaring Bridge, I guess. They're revealing. Is it the bridge? No, it's... Oof. I'm still not used to how the whole vehicle thing does. So this comes into play and just kills something. Yikes. Okay. Deals 3 damage. And what is his name? Street Wraith, I would guess. Yeah. Okay, okay. Not gonna lie, that was not ideal. Okay, and how does this work again? How do you crew it? Tap any number of creatures you control total power 3 or greater. Okay. So you need a 3 power dude. Huh. Alright, well, I mean, drawing this was not the worst, but how does this work then? Because I can't play this turn and hold up Fawn. If I don't play this, they likely get Lattice, and then I Fawn it. So I think maybe actually that is better. Because if I play this now, he minuses, or they minus Karn, and they get Ensnaring Bridge, I would assume. And then that's kind of annoying. But if they get Lattice, we force the Lattice, and then we play Dothy plus Thoughtseize if see what they might have drawn. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put back. Actually, I'm gonna put back the Dark Ritual and the Thoughtseize, and pass. Oh, I should have. Did I put Thoughtseize on top? I shouldn't have. I should have put Dark Ritual. I forget because they could also go for the liquid metal coating here, but I guess I fawned that then. Okay, so they're Hellbent, and I guess they could plus the Karn to turn something into a creature and then crew this. Okay, so they are getting Lattice, I would assume, making the 6 mana. Gonna have to say no to that one. So Lattice is exiled. Would assume that they don't play like more than one. So okay, so now they can plus the I suppose the Grim Monolith, but can they then crew it? No, they would need to tap it. They can untap it with the Manifold Key. Okay. Oh, this just becomes a yeah, sure, that makes sense. Okay, so I take 5. Oh no, that I need to start reading the cards. Okay, 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 okay. I'm gonna concede. And we can go to game number 3. Yeah, I never play against stuff like this. So this is both when it attacks and when it enters. Right. So that's the Oro sort of Titan, the Titan mechanic. Okay. I still don't hate the creature plan, but did kind of come up short there. Do I want another like a Days Over something else? No, let's just resubmit. I think it's fine. Yeah, I'll keep this. Kind of force heavy, but I suppose that's not terrible in this sort of matchup. And we have the Doomsday. We do need to like find a mana somehow. But okay, opponent mulligans to 6. That's fortunate for us. So I will fight over Defense Grid. I'll fight over any payoff spell. I don't think I'll fight over any mana. Yeah, I'm okay with one Mesmeric Orb. We find the land. So we can go ahead and Doomsday next turn, and then we will just have to remember to build a pile that can like handle milling 3 cards. We can't Doomsday if they play a second Mesmeric Orb. Pithy Needle. Okay, okay, okay. I doubt they would name Scalding Tarn, but you never know. I'm assuming they're going to name Street Wraith. Manifold Key, okay, so they have 1 card left. Hopefully that doesn't beat Double Force. Oh, it's Echo. Echo eats a Force. We untap. Well, we don't untap because we are not untapping, but we cast Doomsday here. We make a pile that is fine with milling the top 3 cards. Let's just put Thassa. This does say untap 1 card for each permanent, right? Whenever a permanent becomes untapped, the controller mills a card. Yeah, so it's 3 cards. So I don't know how they would be able to put a Chalice on 2 into play. Actually, you know what? We should play around Otawara. So I'm going to put a Cycler as the second from the bottom, and then let's just mill, like, I don't know. Is there like a min-max thing to put in as the 3 cards that are getting milled? I don't know that there is. Is there anything that punishes us? Let's just put in the Dothies. I suppose if somehow they would be able to, like, transmute artifact away their mesmeric orb, then it would be kind of nice to have the means to mill something, or like get to the cycler. So I draw Consider, I mill a Street Wraith, and then I draw, I guess that, and then I'm not getting to the bottom. How many lands do I have? Anyways, I don't think it matters. So let's just do whatever. So we put Thoughts on the bottom, Consider on top, and then the 3 cards we're gonna mill with the Mesmeric Orb. And it has to be Edge because they have Pithing Needle on Street Wraith. So they could like mill. I was gonna say mill like Echo Beyond and then draw a defense grid. That would probably have been the best case scenario for them. Alright, so they play a Karn the Great Creator. And I think I just force this. I'm not going to get cute and like let them have it and then force whatever they decide to get, because there's really just no point. We're winning right now and they're hellbent. And while I don't think they could get anything that would like be a problem, there's just no real point. Let's do this. All right, cool. Yeah, off to a good start here. 2-0 against like 2 matches against pretty much the same deck, so that's kind of funny. Let's see how round number 3 goes. All right, on the draw, round number 3. Have to mulligan this. Yeah, good hand. Gonna keep and going to bottom one of the blue cantrips. So like baseline heuristics with regards to the cantrips, I think I'm on the side that says that Preordain is better if you don't have a shuffler and if you're not looking for anything specific, but just looking to improve your draws and your hand, whereas Ponder is better at digging for specific cards. So what is the case for us here? Like, depending on what we're up against, we kind of have the specifics here. We would be looking for disruption. There are like lots of different disruption cards, so I think probably put away Ponder actually. Let's see what our opponent is up to. Opponent mulligans to 6 as well. Okay, so it's a blue deck. It would appear. Oh no, it's Death Shadow. Yeah, Death Shadow. I jokingly say they always have turn 1 Thoughtseize, and I like. What's the opposite of survivors bias? Like deceased bias? Like they always have it. All right, we get a bit lucky here and draw the Ponder. I have such a wow, insane. I'm gonna top these and hope that Ponder can show us like a black mana source, so we have Doomsday. I was just gonna say I have like such a bad record against Shadow. Like, oh, okay, so they just don't have anything else. Let's yeah, can't keep these. Need a land. It's not a land. So what is in their hand that they would keep that had like 1 land and the Thoughtseize but no cantrip, or are they just like really careful about playing around days? Okay, well there's a land, but they have 6 cards, and I don't like if they have a force, we just lose. I think I'm not gonna go for it here. I want to draw a discard spell or for them to tap out basically. And speaking of what they could have and not like do anything with 1 mana is like Hymn to Torak, so kind of worried about that. But I don't know, like maybe passing here, it's a thing, right? Like if I think they have the force and the 6 cards, then it's correct to not go for it here. But I am just giving them turn after turn to draw into grief, to draw into another Thoughtseize, to draw into a force if they don't already have one. So I don't know. Well, they are thinking about something right now. All right, they're passing again. Come on, grief. I want my grief. Or Thoughtseize. Dark ritual. Sheesh. I'm passing. Oh, I hate it. Okay, they're moving to discard. Snuff out. Okay. Okay, thank God. All right. Hopefully they don't play Stifle, but if they do, at least we can daze it. I wonder if there's like if they're sitting on a wasteland that's so incredibly like patient of them. If they have double force here, then that's kind of you know, it is what it is. Luckily they don't. Wow. Look at that hand just waiting to get unlocked here. Fortunately, we can just win now. They're thinking about dazing, which is their one play. And it won't matter. Alright, so we're gonna Edge of Autumn into Brainstorm. Brainstorm into Consider, LED, Cycler, and Thassa at the bottom. Go. The pile then is, like I said, in reverse order, Thassa, Cycler, and Brainstorm on top. Alright, gonna cast the Brainstorm. Looks like they've F6'd. Put back a blank and Consider. Play LED. Okay, they've not F6'd. Are looking to see when their days might actually do something. Graveyard, and there we go. Sweet. Alright. Well, that's like my first win over, like game 1 win over Shadow in like quite a while. Alright, well, I think we have some options here. I think, first of all, like the Fatal pushes are kind of good. They played. Did I see a Gurmak Angler? But they do play like Delve creatures anyways, so I think Dothy is at least a consideration, and I think Sholdred is also a consideration. That's 7 cards. That's maybe like that's quite a few, but so let's take out the personal tutors here. We don't need 2 Thossas. Let's maybe cut a Street Wraith. What else? So I need to cut 3 more cards. Maybe the Dothies are not going to make it. I'm not sure. Actually, I'll cut a Thoughtseize. That's 2 more I have to cut. I'll cut a Preordain, I guess. Though, I don't know. Like, maybe I'll cut the 2 Dothies. Yeah, I think maybe that's fine. One thing I really do like about this new setup here with the 2 Peaks and the Preordain is the increase in the blue count. Like, if you've watched some of my recent Doomsday videos, you'll have noticed that I do tend to sometimes get low on blue cards. Alright, so I'm going to keep this, and we'll see if we instantly get punished for putting Shoulder in the deck. Like, this is a deck that plays reanimate spells. Okay, no turn 1 no turn 1 discard, that's good. Oh, Doomsday, huh? Alright, I'm going to get the basic Swamp and play Duress here. Which hopefully means I'm not getting him to Taract. They could be sitting on Brainstorm and him, in which case they can still make that play. Well, there's the Brainstorm, it would appear. Yep. Daze, okay. Daze is also a way for me not to get him next turn. And now if they Thoughtseize me, I have sort of, quote unquote, you know, backup for what I'm sitting on here. But, okay, let's see. If I draw a blue card, Oh, okay, I didn't. I was gonna say, like, I would kind of like uh, to play Peak to see if next turn I should go for the Doomsday. But now that I played out the Tarn, that plays around Wasteland, at least for the time being. But it also means, like, I would ideally like to have basic island, basic swamp setup. And if I want to go Peak into Doomsday next turn, then yeah, that's a problem. Baleful Strix. Okay. Okay, I think I am gonna Peak here. Hopefully there's like a blue card in the top two of my deck, and I would kind of like to see what's going on over there. Let's see here. 6 cards. So they have Force and Daze and creatures coming down. I don't hate that Fatal Push. Obviously, it's like if they were to go fetch into Shockland, play Death Shadow. Okay, they ponder instead. I would kind of assume that they play Death Shadow and not Murktide here to keep up blue card for their force. Okay. So they pondered into ponder. We still know their whole hand. They shuffle. Okay. So I mean, if we draw a blue card here, we can just like Doomsday with force backup. Oh, okay, never mind. So they do play the shadow. I'm gonna push that. Oh, bummer. Black card. Okay, so let's see. I have 4 lands. 4 becomes 6. So let's say that I Doomsday now, and they force it. Do they pitch the Murktide? Because if they do, then like next turn Slam Shoulder it seems like very strong. I'm actually gonna try that. We don't know the 5th card in their hand, so if it's like another blue card that they could pitch, then that's a bit scary. I cannot imagine they would let this resolve. Okay. Force pitch Murktide. Alright. So I but I need them to not like discard this shouldered right now and not draw another force, and ideally not draw like another Murktide. So it's a lot of things I need them to not do. Okay. Yep, you get to surgical here. So there's 1 unknown card in their hand. Come on, blue card, please. Also, no. Okay, this is pretty clutch here. No, god damn it. Oh, well. Too bad. Too bad. I think I'm gonna play Pedal too, because that way we can play around the days and force, like, if they draw something, we need to force. We have we have 2 cards. Like, we have 1 Street Wraith and 1 Shoulder It that we can draw that matter. Or, I'm actually going to play this out. That switches off force for 1 turn. But I'll take that chance just to get the value here. Yeah, let's put Ponder on top. I think we probably lose here because of what happened, but okay, double Strix, sure. Oh, actually, we also have the Grief, right? Okay, so they have 1 unknown in hand. We also need, like, we need to hit one of our creatures before they. Yep, you're fine. Before they start drawing more threats. Oh, snap. All right. Damn. Is this gonna be? Are we gonna have the time here? Okay. I'm actually gonna draw the Pedal. And yeah, go like this. Do I attack then? No, I think I'm gonna save Thassa because I think Thassa's worth more to like chump block. If they go Death Shadow this turn exactly, then Thassa being there is like kind of important. Okay, so basically we need them to have not drawn Force of Will. Okay, and they attack with both creatures, which leads me to think they probably draw. Okay, they don't have another creature. Okay. All right. This is it. Yes, she's in. Attack. Okay, they go to 6, they go to 2 now. Oh, sorry, not 2, but 4. And they can't attack here. Yes, yes. Okay, I'm gonna, they have the days still, we know that, and the blue to delta. I'm gonna keep the force in hand rather than play the grief, I think. Is that correct? I think it is. Like, I think I'd rather, like, imagine if I grief them, then they, like, I don't know, play petty theft or something. That'd be gross. Yes, awesome. All right, all right, all right. 3-0. Beating what has felt like the absolute nemesis of my deck recently. Shieldred coming in clutch. All right, off to round number 4. All right, round number 4 on the play. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. Probably going to fetch Basic Island and cast Ponder. What that means, though, is we are digging for 2 cards effectively rather than 3 and a, or rather than 1.5. So, like, if you follow my reasoning, if we fetch Underground Sea, we have then 2 Underground Seas. We just need to find Doomsday plus any one other mana source. But fetching the Basic Island basically means we need to find both Doomsday and a Ritual, but I still kind of like that with this hand. We have protection to help us for the game to go a bit longer. Well, ask and ye shall receive, right? Beautiful. Okay, well, this is a turn 2 Doomsday with Force and Days backup. Let's see if we can actually pay that off. So I would obviously like to not have to Days here. I think I go for this. I'm not exactly thrilled with the opponent going blue fetch land go. Oh, is this Stifle? If it is, we can probably still go off this turn. Oops. Let's see here. I'm getting the swamp. They have Days plus Force, then they get us. I also have to be ready to decide what I'm going to pitch here. Okay, so we get to do it. So I want the Cavern. Oops. I definitely want another discard spell. So I'm going to take the Duress just to play around a Stifle, like another Stifle effect. We're going to have lands to sack to edge. Stifle decks usually also have clocks. So, the question is, do I take the second Oracle? Second Oracle means we can't really do the edge thing. So, well, so wait, right now I have 3 cyclers. So let's say I draw 1, and then I draw 2. Yeah, okay. This works, but it loses, or at least it is vulnerable to them having discard. It's hard to know from what we've seen from them if their third color is black or red. I think I'm gonna try this. So if it's black and they discard our Thassa, that's obviously kind of game over. All right. Okay, so they are at least red. Ponder, sure. Okay. We are at an effective 6 life because we have a Street Wraith and we also intend to force here, or at least we're ready to force. So I guess not counting the force, we're at 7, so that would mean, like, yeah. If they have double bolt, we have to not force. Okay, they don't shuffle. Interesting. So I play out my land here and pass. Feel decent about this, but it can like we can still lose here. They're bolting us, sure. Also, we don't have to Street Wraith. We can, like, if they spend a turn bolting us, then we can, I guess, postpone a turn. Okay, there's Brainstorm. Another Trop. Okay, so if I wait a turn, I am safe with regards to the bolts. I'm giving them more chances to draw, like, Stifles plus Forces, but I think I'm okay postponing here. They haven't represented a threat. And we have cavern on the bottom. So basically I can cycle the street wraith here. No, no, that's the whole point that I was trying to avoid. So I am going to cycle the edge and draw the duress. And I am going to duress here. Let's see. If they like spell pierce or something. Minor misstep. Oh, that's kind of gross. So what happens if I force and they daze, then I pay. If I force and they force back, then it doesn't really matter if it's here or if they have the stifle, I mean. So if they have the stifle and a counter spell, then I lose. If not, then I probably win. Okay, so they have the force. Okay. I mean, so we not sure I know how I'm supposed to beat that, but I'm definitely not giving them another turn to find stifle if they haven't already found it. So let's just hope they didn't. But like ponder brainstorm, I'm kind of concerned that they did. Yep. All right. GG's. So rug delver with stifle or some kind of rug stifle deck. So this could be tricky. They are really like a meanie deck. Okay, I do want Dothy because they probably have graveyard synergies. I want the fatal pushes to prolong the game. I think we can lose the personal tutors. I think on the play I want days, maybe not so much on the draw. Let's cut a cycler. Let's cut a Thoughtseize and let us. Let's cut Preordain. And what's the final cut here? Maybe it just is a daze. Yeah, I'm not sure. What did I cut before? I could also cut like some mana. I don't know. I'm down to 18 blue cards. That's kind of a lot. Like not enough to feel good. I think I'll keep this. And I will see if I can draw a blue card to protect. Oh, hang on. Maybe I'm supposed to fetch before they're able to stifle. Yeah, I think I am. I'm gonna get the basic swamp here. Still undecided if this flooded strand is going to get an island or an underground sea. There's a petal. I think I'm going to fetch on their upkeep, and I'm gonna fetch basic island. And if they want to trade cards here, at least they will be tapped out. That looks like it. So, best draw in my deck next turn is Cavern of Souls. What do I do here? Like, no matter what, if I want to play something this turn, it's going to cost me, like, resources. If I go Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, Shouldered, I just lose to any counterspell. Or, that's not true, but I lose to, like, Daze plus Reb. I think I'm just going to pass here. I think I do kind of need to, like, draw another land or, yeah, something. Another land, granted it doesn't get stifled, lets me, okay, there's Delver. Lets me at least play Dothy. Let's see if they just have more stifles. I mean, sometimes stifle is great when you get to like put your hands around the throat of your opponent, so to speak, like this. But sometimes it's not great. Okay, but they want it to be great. So, did you find it? Woohoo! All right. So here's the question, right? If they have Force plus Reb, then it's kind of bad for us on the Shieldred. The Shieldred is like by far the biggest payoff here, and I do kind of want to go for it. I hope they don't have minor misstep for this. That'd be really annoying. All right, let's see. This has, I think, to be exactly Force of Will, which we can then fight and then lose to a Red Blast. But yeah, we shall see. They might not have Force of Will. They're having a good long think about this, which is interesting if they have Force. Like, I would assume you just snap off the Force unless they then have removal. Alright, Shouldred's in, so that's promising. They could have like double bolt, I suppose. Fetching away what they had. Surgical, the Dark Ritual. Okay, so maybe that's just or mostly to see what we have. Does make me fear a bounce spell a bit more. Like, so that if they have bounce spell for Shieldred, that kind of like removing the Dark Rituals lessens the likelihood that we're able to play her out again, I guess. This means they're down to 4 cards, and we may or may not like get to see what their next draw is. Delver doesn't flip. Take 2. Like, if you had protected bounce, would you not bounce in your upkeep to not take the 2 damage here? So maybe they don't have protected bounce. I mean, one can hope. Okay, there's a Wasteland. I'm gonna cycle, gain a little bit of life here. Feels like they may have bounce and want to use it before I gain the life. I think I have a force play here to, okay, never mind. To Force of Will anything that tries to remove my Shieldred, and then probably lose to like Red Blast. Okay, they're paying mana, so it makes me think it's a Delve card, which it is. Okay. Right now, I think I'm winning this race, especially if I get to cast Brainstorm here. But that all kind of depends, right? Land would be great. Oh, actually, Duress is really not bad. If they don't have Daze or Reb, I'm down for brainstorming off this pedal. This could be a Daze, or it could be Minor Misstep. Spell Pierce, okay. No, I won't pay for that. I think I'm gonna brainstorm here. If they have Force, I'll Force back. If they have Daze, it's... Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna put back these black cards I can't cast. I suppose I can't really cast the blue cards except for Force. But Shieldred really, I think, is going to win this, especially if they just keep not being able to remove it, obviously. And I get to Fatal Push this Delver. What would be really a sick play for them, I think... Okay, there's a Force. So I guess I don't get to remove Delver necessarily. Because they can take us, deal us 9 here. Then we deal them 6. Not sure what you do here if you're them. I mean, obviously, if you have removal for Shieldred, then it's great. But if you don't, like, do you attack here? Yeah, that's actually the attack I was thinking about. I really like this attack. But I mean, I'm effectively losing 1 per turn. They're losing 2 and can never cast a cantrip, or at least, you know, not without it hurting a lot. So I'm going to push on their upkeep. You could argue hanging on to the push in case they like drop a Tarmogoyf here, but hopefully we won't get to that. All right. So yeah, we just need to gain as much life as possible, because in the event that they do draw like Brazen Borrower, which I think is their out to Shieldred, we need to have as much of a life buffer for then our Dothy Void Walker to be able to eventually win. Now they have Hardcast Force. Okay. A uncastable Daze, so like a land would be just terrific. So the old screw beats Flood, I hope. You're down to 5. I would imagine they're just sitting on like a bunch of like Red Blasts, and we know they have Force. Oh, come on. Well, we are at a very reasonable life total here. Down to 3. They're flooding out something awful. Land. Nope. Okay, I'm going to discard Thassa. they're going to go to 1. So it's now or never. They can't force now. I mean, they can hardcast the force, but if they were to draw Brazen Borrower, I can force it, and they can't force back. All right, cool. We take game 2. So I think they know about the Dothi, right? Because they surgical this, the Dark Ritual. So I think I might just remove days and bring back. No, actually, removing days, that's more blue cards I'm losing out on. I think maybe I lose a Petal and bring in Preordain. It's more about juggling blue cards for me, honestly. Than I'm not sure what kind of value to put on the Petal. Like, it is very good at playing around their dazes, so I'm not sure. I mean, I am gonna keep this. It is a hand that is quite vulnerable to Wasteland, the card Wasteland. Opponent keeps 7. Yeah, but let's go, right? Between the Street Wraith and the Ponder, hopefully we can draw some more lands. And they ponder. You gotta love it when the tempo deck ponders on turn 1. I suppose it could be like a false sense of security, but that does feel really good. Them not to drop a threat, and like if I draw fetch land here, I can fetch underneath Stifle. Ooh. Dark Ritual is pretty big. Gonna Street Wraith here. Alright, I am gonna ponder. This is starting to look kind of decent. Alright, I actually feel way more comfortable trying to win with Shoulder It rather than Doomsday through their wall of stifles. So let's put I also don't think they have actual removal for Shoulder It, so maybe drawing the second Shoulder It isn't that great. Let's go like this. If they tap out next turn, oh, okay. I mean, sure. I don't get to draw more ponders. You get to see what I have. This is like a peak that doesn't replace itself and costs 2 life. Wow. I think that's probably more aggressive a use of surgical extraction than I would be comfortable with, but obviously I don't know the nature of their hand, and it is pretty like a pretty big upside for them to know what to play around here. So Wasteland would kind of suck, but okay, no Wasteland. Brainstorm after making the land drop. That's immediately a brainstorm. I am happy that they're playing, but I guess they are really like if they feel like Shoulder It is coming down next turn, then I can understand wanting to, not like be stranded with a brainstorm in hand, so they would maybe need to do it anyways before their next turn cycle, and I guess be like look for an answer, look for like force or borrower. All right, what is the play here? Just pass. So I kind of don't want to just play into a daze here, into the open mana like the Force Red Blast. So I'm gonna pass, and then I'm gonna brainstorm on their turn and probably also fetch. Get them to tie up some of that mana. You do love it. It's the Delver player's 3rd turn, and there are no creatures in play right now. They also don't know that I drew a second brainstorm here. Okay. I suppose I should get rid of actually Edge and second Dark Writ. I'm gonna fetch. I'm not gonna play around Wasteland now. We still have the chance to do that, but I think seeing as I'm already sort of kind of committed here. So like a what do you call it? A Murktide Regent, right? Like on this turn would kind of, well, I guess not by itself. It wouldn't be a problem. Like Murktide can't raise Shoulder It on its own. It needs like another creature. Let's see here. Is this oh, just ponder. Right on. So no Wasteland this turn. They just played that land. If they drop a creature, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to push it into a daze to then have that daze out of their hand kind of thing. Probably not, because we can, like next turn we can play Shoulder It around daze anyways. Okay, they shuffle. Love that. If they tap out for Murktide here, I actually don't hate that at all because that means red blast is off. Yeah, they get a 7/7 and they get to attack first, but they'll be at 14. I mean, assuming I get to resolve Shieldred here. That is kind of what I'm banking on. And drawing the force means my brainstorm gets to stay in my hand, which is pretty delightful. Just don't have double force, please. Double force, I think I lose. Okay, she's in. Cool beans. All right, so they go to 13. I go to 9. I go to 11. They go to 9. I go to 4. No, they go to 11. They go to 13. They go to 9. They go to 7. They go to 3. Yeah. Again, this is going to come down to if they're able to remove Shoulder here. If they bounce her and I get to brainstorm and resolve that, I can and then replay Shoulder next turn. That's not even the worst. We shall see. They didn't have instant speed removal for her, or chose not to use it. Okay, so they have Petty Theft, and if their last card is Reb, then that's sad, Panda. Or Days, I suppose. Okay, sweet. I think we put away Doomsday and a land. Okay. I don't think they have Days. If they did, then that's an incredible amount of discipline to show for it. So I'm gonna put Doomsday and the fetch land. I'm gonna draw the fetch land. And then the fetch land is going to be able to turn on Fatal Push for this Brazen Borrower at some point down the road. So now I am actually worried if they have another creature, but yeah, we shall see. Oh, I suppose actually a creature is better than, like, if they have Stifle, ugh, that's kind of scary. Yeah, they could very well have Stifled. They have had no targets for that all game. Okay. Let's, don't have Stifle, please? Please? Yes, okay. Now, don't randomly have Days or Force. No! Oh, okay, they're digging. Right, okay. Well, it's make or break time here. Looks like, oh, yes, she's in. Okay, cool. Okay, so they dropped to 11. I drop to 7. I go up to 9, and I can consider, hopefully, get to consider to go up another 2. Not another Petty Theft, please. Minsk and Boo. Okay, interesting. I mean, they can throw this at me, I guess. Okay, now I need to do some math here, I guess. Oh, wait, they killed me. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. You probably all saw it. I didn't see it. All right, GG's opponent. Oh, Minsk and Boo. Boogaloo out of the Delver deck. Did not see that one. Yeah. So how does this work? You draw cards if it's a hamster, and otherwise you don't draw cards, but it still deals damage. All right, bummer. Trophy Dream is dead, but yeah, all right. GG's. Let's see if we can rebound for round number 5. All right, round number 5, and it's against my good buddy Marcus Eva. I would like to respond. Come on, Marcus. I know you're playing control of some sort, right? Gonna keep this, and let's see how we do. Marcus has been like crushing it with, I believe, like this Urza's Saga, Stoneblade, Staff of the Storyteller kind of deck. Maybe not Stoneforge Mystic, but like Urza's Saga with Staff of the Storyteller. So that is what I am putting him on. But Marcus also sometimes plays like blue heavy combo decks like High Tide or even Doomsday. So that's certainly within his wheelhouse. All right, so Marcus mulligans to 5. I'm gonna not respect Wasteland here. Gonna get Underground Sea and cast Ponder, and see if we can find a path to victory. Well, having another land doesn't hurt. So let's do that. I'm considering right now whether or not I should consider in my upkeep. Okay, so Marcus is on. Yeah, no, I don't think having the third land is a big problem. Let's ponder here. We know this top card is Street Wraith, but we get the shuffle. Don't hate the preordain. So if we can find Doomsday like right now, I feel really, really good. If not, then hopefully something that finds Doomsday. Okay, none of this is super interesting though. Brainstorm is nice. Okay, Tundra, so we are in the control realm, I would very much assume so. I suppose it could be Cephalid Breakfast, but I don't know that Marcus plays that deck. So there is Fairy Mastermind mana right there. Oh, and there is the Doomsday. So what punishes us here is like Flusterstorm, but I kind of feel okay not playing around that. Other than that, like Spell Pierce plus Force or Double Force. So I think I'm gonna just hardcast Doomsday, and if it's a 1-for-1 trade, well, it won't be. I don't think, anyways. I suppose like Pierce would be, but like Counterspell, we can Daze, Force, we can Force back, Force Pitch Brainstorm, and I'm gonna Force Pitch Consider. Marcus cast Brainstorm. Let's hope he doesn't find another Force. Uh-oh. Not Flusterstorm, please. If it's another Brainstorm, I'll Daze. If it's Pierce, I'll Daze, obviously. It's Pierce. Gonna Daze that. If this was... Oh, wow, brutal. Okay, but he's Hellbent, but that's kind of brutal. Okay. There we go. So let's hope he didn't hide something like Staff or even worse, like a... what do you call it? Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, well... That was kind of crazy. I think I need to go like this so that we can protect ourselves versus like a Teferi or something with the Daze or a Narset. Okay, fetching. There he is, right on time. I'm gonna hardcast the Daze. No need to pick up the land here. Don't really want to like brainstorm it back into the deck. I don't think. In case we draw a Doomsday. Wow, this has been a crazy game, and like for Marcus to multi 5. Okay, I'm gonna Street Wraith and Brainstorm. And we find the Doomsday. All right. We need, what do we need? Since we can only keep hold of one of these blue cards, I think it's the Daze that actually stops, like, if Marcus was to draw, like, a Narset next turn. So, I'm not gonna just YOLO, actually, hang on. I have 4 Cyclers, right? But I'm at 12. Yeah, I can do that. So, Cycler, 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 and Cycler. So like the only thing that stops me from winning here, I think, is if Marcus finds like actual counterspell, or if he goes like he can't go Narset into Force into like draw a blue card because I have Daze. I think this is fine. I need to not have a card in the deck when Thassa goes on the stack in case what he draws is Plow. So I think I'm gonna do this. It means no Cavern, so no safety net, but it means passing 1 fewer time. So I think that's kind of fine. Actually, hang on. Let's draw the Wraiths first. All right. Okay, Ursa Saga. Cool. So everything is face up. And here we go. Thassa from Mombasa. All right, cool. So against this type of deck, we have the Emrakul and Sheldog Isle. We have the Mystical Disputes. I don't think Marcus plays Dress Down because Marcus plays Ursa Saga, and that's kind of a non-bow. I'm pretty sure Marcus probably plays some Graveyard Synergies, like maybe Snapcaster, maybe Savine's Rack. We don't want Shieldred. That's, I think, I completely stopped bringing Shieldred in versus white decks for the most part because it's too much of an investment most of the time. Like the 4 mana obviously includes uh, often includes what I'm trying to say. Uh, you two for wanting yourself to get her into play, or like using a ritual, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then trading it for a plow is like really bad. But like this can often, like if they plow this, it's obviously, I mean, you'd rather they didn't, but then you spend 2 mana to get a card out of their hand and gain some life. It's not the worst, and having just a different pivot is not the worst either. So I think I'm gonna try these, and I'm gonna take out the personal tutors, and I'm gonna take out the LED and 2 cyclers. And what's the last cut then? Maybe it's like a daze. I'm not sure how greedy a deck Marcus plays, but I know that Marcus is like fundamentally opposed to clunky 3-drops. So even though we saw Teferi, I don't think he plays a lot of 3-drops. That I think means daze maybe has a bit less value. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna try this on for size. Marcus Mulligan's to 6 Gs. He has not been fortunate. So this is gonna be like preordain off C into turn 2 Dothy, probably. Unless I draw like Doomsday. I don't know that I want to sacrifice the Cavern. Okay. Thoughts on the bottom, draw the Grief. That way we can play Dothy off of Swamp and Underground Sea. And then we can pitch cast Grief off of the Dark Ritual if we want to. Or we can wait another turn and then Dark Ritual out the Grief and then have an actual, like, have 2 3/2s. Urza's Saga kind of means the creature plan is not as interesting, but our creatures have, like, are kind of evasive. Yeah. I think I do want the Dothy into play first. Marcus doesn't shuffle. If I draw Doomsday here, that changes everything. But okay, I didn't. Yeah. So yeah, hoping this doesn't just like eat a plow here. But if it does, that means that he can't make a construct. Well, there's Caracas, so Emrakul, Sheldock, a little bit less exciting. So let's start. Oh shoot! I should have played the Grief. I mean, I should have played the Cavern. Okay, well, I mean, if this eats a force, then it eats a force. That's okay. But yeah, that was a misclick on my part. I just played out the Underground Sea. This has to be force, I think. I don't think there is another spell that counters this. Okay, so this eats a plow. This means no construct, but the creature, the Dothy was worth more because that can just never be blocked. Now Marcus can, like, next turn he can make a construct and then get Retrofitter Foundry. Okay. So Snapcaster Mage is annoying here. Everything's annoying here. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Snapcaster to keep my Grief, but maybe that was just dumb. But my hand doesn't really do anything now, so that is a little bit annoying. Okay. So I'm assuming this gets Retrofitter, but I could be wrong. Just cycle this. I know 3 out of the 4 cards. I think maybe I'm supposed to save it. Because I mean, what does Grief peak at most get us here? I suppose it gets us like a Brainstorm, which would have been nice. Okay, so Ponder. So this is not an acceptable amount of lands for Marcus, I would assume. So Looking for lands, I'm guessing. Yep. Do you attack here? So you get to make a Thopter, make a servo, and then servo plus construct. Like construct trades with grief. Okay, let's fire off this peak here. So there's a staff and I drew ponder. Okay, I really need a brainstorm now. Like 4 lands in hand is just not good. Not good. Thoughtseize. Okay, I think I'm gonna pass here. I think the combat thing is off. I could trade with the construct, and then Marcus's mana will be tied up for the retrofitter, but I just think that's not how this game. The one grief is not gonna like deal 16 damage. Okay, it's a standoff, huh? Oh, this is so gross. Okay, there's a plow. I'm definitely for game number 3 completely gonna not have a creature in my deck aside from Thassa and I guess a Street Wraith to blank these plows. Okay, so the beatdown begins. Oh, come on, deck. Yep. So let's see. We take 6, go to 16. We're in an effective 13 with the fetches. 11 from the Thoughtseize. We Doomsday. We're dead because we have to pass. So, all right. Next game. Next game. Actually, hang on. No, I'm just gonna Thoughtseize to see if there's anything spicy in his hand. No. Alright, let's take the staff and concede. Alright, I want my dazes. I can't remember if I took out any dazes, but I definitely want as much in the way of turn 1 Doomsday, turn 2 Doomsday punch through that I can get. So yeah, bring in a daze and bring out a Dothy. Where'd you go, Dothy? Actually, though, I mean, having the second Thassa is also kind of weak. I don't think that matters. So, do we just like bring in cyclers instead? Oops, now I'm 1 card too heavy. Yeah, the Dothy. Yeah, I think I go like this, honestly. All right, let's get a good one. Nope, no lands. Yeah, I'll keep this. And bottom the Edge of Autumn, I think. Bottom the Autumn. And I'm gonna cycle a Street Wraith to kick this off. Find a daze. I'll cycle another Street Wraith. Just get more value out of these cantrips. I don't hate the peak. Yeah, I at least need 1 more land, but I don't want to draw the Thassa though, but I think drawing the 2 lands is fine. I'll probably I'll play a land and then pass, and then on Marcus's end step, I'll fetch, and then I'll peek Deafening Silence. I don't think so. Like, fighting a Force of Will deck that has Deafening Silence in play is a nightmare. But now we do need another piece of interaction, because you'd imagine Marcus has something. Okay, so we ponder. Don't shuffle. Okay. I wonder if Peak can draw a red blast. I kind of doubt it, but then again, you never know. And that is what he is representing. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's let's brainstorm here. Let's put away Underground Sea and Cabal Ritual. I know Force of Will right now is sort of like a nothing card, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to Thoughtseize there to take a Teferi, but I do kind of want to save Thoughtseize for the turn I do something more important. Okay, so Saga, so the beats will eventually be coming. Narset, okay. Yeah, Narset is kind of unpleasant. Pyroblast, sure. Doomsday? Come on. Can I get a Doomsday one time? Just a little bitty Doomsday? No. Alright. I think we pass. Think we pass. Think we pass. Think we pass. But I think we also lose, unfortunately. Because the Narset means we can't like draw through the deck. So it means we need to win with, I think, probably. Um, yeah. Yeah, I could force. They have the Pyroblast, so I mean, whatever. Another force. We have to basically take Force of Will from them here, or Force of Negation, or whatever it is they're sitting on. Because we can never force on the turn we cast Doomsday. But yeah, it is, I think, over, unfortunately. So take the force. They have a real clock now with the saga. So even if I were to like untap into Doomsday, I don't think that matters. What a bummer. Here I was 3-0, and I think I'm gonna end up 3-2. But yeah, them are the breaks. Yeah, there's basically no way to win here because we're not winning after we cast Doomsday on the same turn, and they have a like 6 power in play. So, all right, GG's. All right, let's break it down. I still really enjoy this list. I have a local sort of like closed circle kind of high stakes tournament coming up this coming weekend. I think I'm going to play this list. Maybe tinker with the sideboard because of its I don't expect much combo, but yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy this. The cards in the main deck I'm unsure about. I think is still the second Oracle. I keep boarding out one, and I keep not really utilizing having the second one. Also, I the peaks. I mean, I haven't been as blown away as maybe I thought. Like I had hoped. That's not to say that I'm ready at all to call it. I've played like 3 leagues with this setup and have had really good results so far. So I mean, I'm gonna keep doing it. Um, it did kind of come up a couple of times during the league, but not that many times. I think shoulder was like really good for the first time in a while for me. Oh, it was so close versus that Delver player that found the Minsk and Boo in game three. That was a really close game, and I think the match was really close. And then shoulder was very good there, and she was very good against the Shadow opponent, if I recall correctly. Um, I don't know. I think I think this deck is like just running really smoothly, and I'm not sure what I would change right now. So I think I probably just leave it as it is. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching along. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. That really helps a lot. And yeah, I am gonna say that's it. I'll see you soon for some more Legacy. Bye bye.